somehow that did bring us back to loneliness.
Speaking of loneliness.
Circling. Everything is loneliness.
So we're working real hard to avoid any sort of honesty about this.
Yeah.
I guess I'll go first. This is why we have problems with loneliness, folks. This is why. Right? Yeah, great. Well,
it's gonna be so fun.
We'll listen.
Well,
I'll just lecture you.
That sounds
welcome everybody to the Church Bites podcast, with conversation that values faith communities that doesn't shy away from the ways in which they bite. We wrestle with takes on faith, and we dip into local cuisine in a way that is faithfully for the fort. My name is Glenn.
And I'm Tyler.
And I'm Christy.
So our first segment is, again, diving into local cuisine. Yes. And tonight we have a little something from one of the last remaining restaurants within a less than 1 mile radius of the place we're sitting.
We're running out.
Yeah, but boy, I mean, if the weight and heat combo that comes off of like the vibe you get from when you've got your carryout and you're like, man, this bag is heavy and it's hot, and I feel like if it wasn't wrapped in metal, it would be sweating through the sack.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I can relate. It is hot in here.
Anyway, and you think this is going to be a good meal.
Hey everybody, Austin here. Real quick, before we get back into the episode, we'd love to continue to be in conversation with you all. So down in the comments, let us know what you think. Let us know how things are going. If you got any specifics on anything we're talking about, that'd be awesome. Also, like and share the video with your friends. You can also send us an email at churchbites@stjoemin.com. That's churchbites@stjoemin.com. And we're going to be having some live events right here in Fort Wayne coming up. So check the show notes, check the description on whatever platform you're listening or watching on. And there'll be some details down there about these events. And hey, let's get back to the episode.
Yeah. So that's what we got here. And tonight in particular, Mamma Mia's has a lot of different things. I want to give them a shout out here.
I've never had it before. This will be my first time.
And we get a lot of food. I mean, the church buys a lot of food from Mamma Mia's. I feel like we go way back with Mamma Mia's. Right around the corner. Great place.
Yeah.
Here we go again.
I don't know. I'm not aware of having ever had anything.
How could I have missed
you personally? But they have baked subs, sandwiches. They've got the pizza rolls, which is what this is.
They also have sausage rolls.
There is one of these is a sausage roll.
Very good.
Yeah, one of these is vegetable and one of these is sausage. So
many things.
Anyway, lots of other sides. You, I guess, could order a salad there. It's on the menu.
It's on the menu.
It's not a dine-in establishment. It's
pizza place salads.
It's a take-home, dim the lights, and eat with your shame hidden from the world.
Right.
Kind of place.
By yourself.
Yes, this is
an entire sausage.
It's really
and you're like shame.
yeah, candles. You go candles, and I go shame. Yeah, the two. Oddly enough, candles and shame are also associated in my head for other reasons. Anyway, if we
nice.
If we know that later.
Yeah, that's something I'll dive into with my therapist. So anyway, one of these is vegetable, one of these is sausage.
I think the one with V probably is vegetable.
Is there a V?
Is that a V? Is there a V?
Yeah.
Or it's an upside down A.
This one has an S.
Ooh, for meat.
Yeah, for meat.
Okay. That's smeat.
Smeat.
Sweaty meat.
Sweaty meat.
That's right. That's S.
So
where I was going.
Look at the toast on that.
That's
got like a little black.
Austin and Luke are getting hungry too, just looking at this. Smell it. The smell is filling the room.
Look, it's the logo.
Yeah, we need the logo showing.
Need the logo.
So we got that. We got the sausage one here. I am gonna. It's like communion, so I feel like even though I don't normally do bread, I'm just gonna. Yes, on the night in which Jesus gave Himself for us,
for His sausage.
Moving on. Anyway,
that is the sausage, isn't it?
This is my sausage roll broken for you.
Thanks.
Okay.
This would not be, the sausage roll obviously is not kosher because of the pork and the meat and cheese mixed together, so.
That is 100% barbecue sauce.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, you dip
that's
it
wonderful.
Holy cow, I'm in
Isn't that
heaven.
amazing?
I love
Do you want a little
barbecue
slice?
sauce.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll try one of each.
Is this one just mine?
I'll try a piece of it. We got a knife here, Christy, so. And we want Luke and Austin to share in the.
Oh, look at that.
Hashtag no free feet.
Look at that.
Oh. Austin, are you zooming in on that? Get that
hanging.
melty cheese.
Look at that.
Get that melty cheese.
Oh, that's amazing.
This is looking really. I think this is gonna maybe rate highest of the.
I feel like this. Yeah, it's gonna.
Higher than Casa?
Say last week was really high.
Oh no, there's more olives.
Yeah.
Anyone really like olives?
It's so cheesy.
Anyone? No? No one's an olive fan?
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
take the
mine.
olives.
You'll take the olives? Thank you.
Yeah, I like olives.
I hate them going to waste, but too salty, too briny. I did just touch that lighter. I found it. So
That's all right. Yeah, garbage disposal.
we'll see.
The barbecue sauce shouldn't
love-
work, but it
Oh,
totally
it
does. It totally does.
It works for almost everything.
Man. Well, it's just weird because it has like a marinara, like a very light marinara in it.
Yeah.
So you would think like, marinara and barbecue sauce, that shouldn't work. But it works.
Yes. Yes, it does.
And I thought I'd have to eat the breading, but I'm not. It's sliding right. There's so much filling.
Yeah, there's so much filling. Yeah, they definitely did not skimp on the filling. I like how like one bite has turned into like.
And it's that super.
We're gonna take a 5-minute break.
Yeah, we'll be
to-
back.
to eat.
We need to be alone with this for a while.
Then the lion. Shame.
I'm sorry, guys. I think this is one. This
This is good.
the noises of your pleasured mastications
Oh, dear.
are
Chewing, people.
yeah, chewing. Yeah. Well, you're a guy who experiences life in a noisy way. I mean, noisy is not the right word.
Yeah. Just a different
You
volume.
you very much make you vocalize
There you go.
your.
Yeah.
I've ridden a roller coaster with you,
Yes.
and so
Yes.
I know that you.
Yes. I am the definition of the quiet part out loud. Just kind of say whatever. It just kind of comes out. Sorry.
So okay, ratings on this.
Ooh, that was good.
Man, that was good.
I'm going to give it a 9.5, and that's simply because I don't like olives.
You don't like olives. Well, I imagine that you could make the order and say.
I'm sure I could.
Yes.
X-nay on the olives.
Put pineapples instead of olives.
Oh, okay. There you
That would
go.
be good.
Good.
They might.
I mean,
throw
really,
you out.
very, very high. I know some pizza places get real snarky about
They do?
pineapple.
Yeah.
The guy right before me walked in, and he had called in and ordered what's called a roadkill sandwich there. Yeah,
Thank you.
so lots of different options on that, including
That's-
possum.
You know,
That's kosher.
Yeah, possums are. I don't know.
did you know that capybaras are considered fish by the Catholic Church? Just FYI
They're
on
considered
that.
fish.
Yeah.
I feel like
They're
that's going to have to
categorized
be.
as
Is that an
fish.
Onion
You
article?
Can, no, you can check that out.
They're like, he's
It's so
gone.
that
We're
they
changing
can-
capybaras.
So they can. No, it's been for a long time, so they can eat it at Lent. Because
It's like for the tribes that live out there that have to eat it.
They were just
Or
like, we're not
they're just
giving
like,
up
whatever.
capybara. That's not happening. And they're like, it's aquatic.
Like, oh,
fish.
Well, I was disappointed that
it's a hairy, big, hairy aquatic fish.
It's a big hairy
on a
aquatic fish.
recent trip to Florida, we came home, and then only once we were home did I learn about a capybara cafe, where you can
They're
Ride one?
invasive in Florida.
I don't know.
I don't know if it's big enough
I think
to
they,
ride.
but you have to pay extra for that.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
know?
You just hold on a little.
Apparently,
Yeah.
their fur is really coarse.
Really?
It's not
I've
like
seen one,
particularly
but from a
pleasant.
distance, I
Have you
haven't.
in person?
Yeah, they're. I mean, when I lived in Brazil, they are like native there.
That would do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like, look, a giant.
Rat.
So you're 9.5.
Yeah,
I
sure.
think I'm gonna go 9.2. I think this is the first I've done in the nines.
This is the
Okay.
first you've
This
done.
is the first I've
You're
done in the
hard to
nines.
please.
9.2, solid score.
So good.
I think
Very
I'm.
good.
I think I'm gonna. I'll just land between you both. How about that? I'm gonna go 9.38.
Oh, I like it. Double decimal.
Double decimals.
He's a bro.
Yeah, super tasty. Definitely, this definitely falls. You know, like with casa, you can the Italian casa that we ate at before. That you can kind of trick yourself into thinking part of that is healthy in some way, like because it was a cauliflower crust.
It's like flatbread.
There's no self-deception possible around this.
No.
Except for that there are vegetables in that one.
But, it's practically a salad. Wrapped in bread.
Yeah.
Which is wheat.
There you go, which is also
a plant.
vegetable.
Yeah,
I love it.
there's lots of
It's really
plant.
all veggies.
Except for the cheese.
Okay,
I don't
well,
know that you can.
so I think it came in very highly
Very good.
rated for
Check it out.
being the
Yeah.
most salt of the earth kind of place if you walk in the door.
Yes.
So,
Mamma Mia's.
great.
It's chocked with olives.
I really
Lot of
wish I
olives.
liked olives.
Look at that.
And thankfully,
And those are
Seth
big
does,
olives. Those
'cause,
aren't
you
the
know,
cheap olives. Those are
can
good.
have
Those are
them.
decent olives.
Yeah.
Those are the big.
I like olives. I like to every now and then get like the little tray of like mozzarella and olives like just soaked in olive oil.
Yeah.
Just eat those.
I like them on cottage cheese. Do a handful.
No.
Handful of green olives on some cottage cheese. No. Oh man,
I can see that.
that hits the spot.
Yeah, that sounds
The
It
only
does.
thing you can do with cottage cheese is fruit.
I love
Is what? Throw it in the trash.
Fruit.
Oh, fruit. Yeah. yeah.
Anything savory with cottage
Oh.
cheese, dear Lord, save me.
Look at the like meat sweat on the
Yeah, it's
on the
that's
table.
just the
There's like a
cheese sweat.
stain, a cheese stain. That's how you know it was a good meal.
Okay, so now is our next segment where we make not a hot take, not a sweaty, cheesy sweating on the table like a delicious pizza roll take. No,
Nope.
Not
not a hot take.
Cooling it
But
down.
cooling it down a little bit for a lukewarm take, where Luke brings us
Like
a
my-
news article ripped from the headlines, something pertinent, and we get to think about that a little bit and make a take on it. So,
Sweet. Well, I gave you guys each the article, so you can look at that. And while you're taking a glance at what that is, a little fact check from earlier. Capybara is considered kosher.
Wow.
Jewish dietary laws say kosher animals must chew their cud and have split hooves, both of which it meets that criteria. So
And is it considered a fish?
it doesn't say that. It just says
considered
it's
a fish.
kosher.
It doesn't
is.
say that.
I don't. I'll check the fish.
just
and see.
Google,
the
can
fish.
you
It
can
is.
I eat capybara on Friday during Lent? That's the question. Not,
That's
is it a
the real-
fish?
that's what we want to
But does
know.
it meet the penitential standard of the
Okay.
Lenten season, according to the Holy See?
Fell on Easter this year. Okay.
Turns out,
Eastern nut.
yeah. So the article here is about. You should explain, Luke. You
Blazing
should explain.
praise.
The article's just pointing out that we had a couple of holidays mix. Easter and 420 were the same this past season.
Never heard
so-
that referred to as a holiday, but okay.
as a holiday. I mean,
It's a high
holy day.
So for some
Yes,
people,
high holy day.
the article title says marijuana holiday 420 coincides with Easter and Passover this year. Here's what you need to know. And so I find it very interesting that some people chose to try to celebrate both in conjunction with one another. As in New York, in Portland, Oregon, we saw a
course.
Blaze and Praise drag
Oof.
brunch, which
That is.
Blaze and Praise was not something I'd seen together before.
You know, we
No,
almost
but-
we almost did the drag brunch, and we decided
We
to.
decided to. That's,
You know-
that's next week at Brunch Church.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Join us.
And New York City did say that cannabis brand Token Jew is advertised as kosher. So it was there for,
Yeah.
for our friends of
not all
other
chewy
religious
things
persuasions as
are.
well.
Yeah.
So at the very bottom, I put a couple of questions, but one just thoughts on the two holidays being combined or celebrated together, bringing people from different types of celebrations to join one another, and then how much should the church try to embrace what is popular in culture at the moment, or how much is too far? Maybe this is a little bit of the too far, but just general thoughts of the two holidays coming together here.
But two holidays, are you talking Easter and Passover, or are you talking about 420 and
420
then,
and Easter or the Passover season.
so the three?
I mean, every now and then I have the impulse to do something like this,
Get
just
high,
to see.
really, really.
I'm not going to be specific, but just to say, just to see how long.
Wear drag and go to brunch.
Yeah, well, just to see how long. I'm not going to be. I will not confirm or deny.
Okay.
Just to see how long it takes to get like an ecclesial official to text or call me who's really not happy.
Like do
I
it
just
and
wanna
then like set the timer
Yeah,
and then
just
see
be like,
how long
I
it takes.
how long.
Oh,
Let's
I love
see.
that.
Yeah,
That would be good.
I do have that.
Can we do that on this podcast? Like do something and then like
pretty
start the timer.
sure they did it.
Sorry, chat.
Sorry, I've heard people use chat recently. VTubers.
Have you? Is that
They're
crazy?
like, hey, chat.
You're like, I
Blah,
know.
blah, blah.
what
I
that
know.
is. Yeah.
I felt
Okay.
so in the know.
Was that something we talked about on here?
Yeah.
A while, like
I don't
several
remember.
weeks
The
ago.
chat.
Offline.
Hey, chat. Check that capybara is considered a fish by the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Anyway,
Okay.
you're saying you
On
wanted to
this.
try something and
I
then
just
set
to
every
watch.
now and then I have impulses,
Sure,
Yeah.
we all do.
destructive, intrusive thoughts about what if I did this, how long would it take to get just to set the timer and see.
I do have some general thoughts. I think the church should be not too quick to demonize certain things just because of history, right? Like we wouldn't bat an eye at a theology on tap or some sort of other thing. And
good
so
point.
I think we gotta, pump the brakes a little bit, especially if it's legal. I think maybe it falls into a different category. And in these places, it seems like it's all legal, adult, law-abiding citizens who are, engaging in the
just some
their
blunt talk
holiday.
around theology.
just blunt talk, just straight
Yeah.
to the
Yeah.
Okay, so we gotta be
no
careful.
longer church bites.
Yeah.
We're blunt talk.
Blunt talk. Yeah.
We will be recording in Michigan.
I mean, there's bites. The bites follow.
Obviously.
Yeah. The bites are the last segment in that
Yes.
one.
Yeah, if we laugh this much now, can you imagine?
It'd be a different kind of
There
laugh,
would
I think.
we wouldn't get anything.
I mean, we are in a circle configuration
Yeah.
already, so I think we're ready for.
What does that have? Oh, for Puff Puff Pass, right.
Yes.
Like, why does it circle that?
Yes,
I saw that 70s show. I know.
Yes, also known as the blunt rotation.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that.
Well, it's a thing it's kind of a party
See,
conversation.
I've done that with hookah. I've been to hookah before.
Sure, okay.
And it's the
So it's
you get your own tips though. That's nice.
the blunt rotation is kind of like a party conversation where it's like, hey, if you could have 4 people in your blunt rotation where you smoke and you pass,
Yeah.
who would it be? Like,
Yeah.
who would your 4 people be that you'd want to be in
I
that?
don't know. There's 5 of us in a room.
I mean, if
I
we
know,
could
there's going to be
get
an odd man out or woman,
if
maybe.
we could get Mike Tyson on the podcast, then we should definitely do it.
yeah.
Hotbox a little bit.
That's
That's the name of his podcast. You guys
Oh,
listen to
So,
Hotbox?
Hotbox.
why are we
Okay.
hot
And they
box?
smoke.
We're getting
They
in a
smoke,
car?
and then he's a boxer, and Hotbox is like, yeah. So
It's the
It's the
pun.
thing, yeah. I like it.
This
Like, we
is so.
probably
I gotta say,
record
the
in a
thing I
car.
really like about this most is I've never tried the substance. I think that's perfectly okay for me to say. Never tried the substance.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I've
Obviously
never
it's
tried
fine.
any of it, but I love making jokes about it, and I love more than anything in this world making puns. Like, I could go into a line of work where I just created pun names for dispensaries.
Nice.
Like, all the time I'm seeing them, I'm like, or think of things, and I'm like,
Have you ever been to the national pun competition?
no.
It's a thing. I had a friend. He would go every year. Huh. And it travels around. It's like a convention, and all these
Wow.
really punny people come, and
Yeah.
they do the puns, and they have like topics, and they compete.
So it's like an improv pun.
Yeah, it's
I
like
mean,
an
most
improv,
puns
and they
I
do
think
like a
are-
knockout bracket. I don't know. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
But there you go.
We should interview you, and then we could do like a special church bite.
From the pun convention.
From the pun convention.
There you go.
So, Christy, what do you think?
Oh, what do I think? I think that I have a lot of friends that wouldn't step foot in church otherwise that might
Yeah.
for a blazing praise.
Blaze and praise. That is a wonderful, wonderful name for something.
I think it would at least be intriguing for them. I also understand that, like, people aren't gonna go get sloshed, but if it's someone high or someone drunk, I'd pick someone high every day of the week, twice on Sunday.
And can you explain why for folks who may be like, why on earth would she say that?
Because drunk people are a lot more dangerous than
in
high
your
people.
experience.
And I have a lot of experience. Drunk people. High people are usually just chill, funny, want to talk, chatty, and hungry. Mm-hmm. And drunk people can be that way, but they're just way more unpredictable, and sometimes very angry, and et cetera, et cetera. So yeah,
I mean, you can't get the reefer madness though, right? That's a thing.
I've never seen that, but I've not
paranoia.
been around. Oh, the paranoia.
Yeah.
I'm gonna withhold comment on that.
Tastes like schnozberries.
So yeah, I don't know that I would, and this is funny, but like I don't know if I'd be comfortable with it actually being held in a church building.
It's funny
kind of
to
like
me
a
that
theology
even
on
they
tap.
have like limits where they're like cannabis consumption isn't allowed on site.
Premises.
You know, it's interesting that
but
like
then I'm like,
they're,
why would that?
You know, yeah.
Why is that for me? Where it's like I'm fine with it,
Yeah.
but not in the church. But like what?
Yeah.
You know, I can't put my finger on like why that feels like a.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's one thing to
thing.
take the story of Jesus to a not sacred place, and it's another thing to let the not sacred into the sacred place. Maybe that's like maybe it's
but,
kind of
like-
like which boundary you're crossing has everything to do with the comfort level.
Possibly.
Well, it's just interesting where we draw these boundaries. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, we're totally okay with certain things. We're totally okay with heavy pharmaceutical use in society. But, like, we talk about cannabis one time and everybody's
Sure.
like,
Or like caffeine.
like lose their mind. Right.
Caffeine
or caffeine.
is-
Like, everybody
I mean,
laughs
it's
about
weird
your
if you
caffeine
don't drink-
addiction.
exactly.
Like, what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but then cannabis,
Yeah.
which is very like especially
Yeah.
like in gummy form. You know, you smoke it, that's still really bad for your lungs, right?
Sure.
But
Yeah,
like,
but we're not talking about what's
say, like,
bad
in a-
for us. We just ate a sausage roll.
I didn't. Mine had veggies.
Mine was a salad wrapped in ground up salad, sprinkled with cheese and barbecue sauce.
I love your voice.
Yeah, you should stick with that.
Yeah.
You should just.
I think that's how you need to talk.
So, Tyler, how much
yeah.
of our, like, what we accept or what we don't, do you think has to do with the legality? Because you mentioned that, and I find it interesting that, like, we wouldn't think this was okay in Indiana because it's illegal, but we
Right.
could drive an hour north and it's legal, and now...
And you get all the
Like, now it's okay.
billboards.
Like, do you think that has something to do with why caffeine or pharmaceuticals?
I think it's easy to draw that line and go, all right, no, because like Christians are called to obey the law, right? It's a law, so okay, as long as it's a just law, I guess, then we can say that's an easy line to draw. When it's when it's legalized, now there's a little bit more gray, and we can have that conversation in an easier way. I think everybody still needs to have their own conscience, right? And to be able to have their own internal.
It's around a lot of other substances.
Right,
Like, is this right?
100%.
Is this something
Yeah.
that's really right and acceptable and
Right.
helpful to the flourishing of your life and
Right.
your relationships,
Yeah.
or not?
Yeah. And for me, it's like having grown up and struggled with cannabis use as a young youth. That's not something that I would ever do again, even if it were legal, because I know that's a me thing. Where it's like I have no problem like having a drink. So I recognize
like-
that's my personal, where it's like that's me saying that's my old life, that's my pre-Jesus era, and I'm not gonna go back there, but I'm okay with maybe some of these other things.
So I think this one makes people uncomfortable, like to say that we're mixing these two. Are there any other like cultural holidays that we mix with the church that people are totally fine with, but might even be worse than this?
Well. So
July
first of all, there's
4th.
actually just as before we go there,
'Cause I'm going there.
Yeah, that's fine. I want to go there, but like there are a couple things. The Blazing Praise was actually drag and pot and
Double whammy.
Yeah, so it was checking lots of boxes.
It's like they were planning the event and they're like, how many people can we offend all at the same time? And I love that.
I think to be fair, there's like there is a theological perspective which let me be very clear. In like nucleus form, I think I agree with, which is that the gospel and what Jesus comes to do is actually quite transgressive of like norms and the law, and like he comes to fulfill the law, but he does it in himself, in how he exists in right relationship with others, and in so doing, he shows a lot of times the pointlessness of some of the laws that are observed for their own sake. So like in let me be clear. I'm not like saying St. Joe Blazing Praise
endorses
coming
this.
to a, because I realize
Road trip.
that would create more problems than it would help missionally speaking, and it's not the right thing for us. But I do see that it's not just like let's just do something crazy. Like I think there is a theological perspective behind it. Like whether or not it's mine or whether or not would fit in ministry contexts, which I've been or would be, I don't know.
Well, and I think we don't know the intent. There's definitely an area here within stoner culture that I would say this could borderline as sacrilegious, where they're sort of tongue-in-cheek being like, oh, it's on Easter, you know what I mean? Or are we using it to connect with people and connect with a group and a culture?
Part of it's happening in a
legitimate
Portland,
way, right?
Which is like, this is the kind of like, if there are people who the only Easter service they would go to if it was in Portland was that one.
Yeah.
There you go.
So go figure. I don't know how the gospel was presented in that.
Yeah.
But so other holidays was Luke's question. Are there other holidays that we're more comfortable with or we see get blended in? And Christy, you jumped to 4th of July. I would add Memorial Day to that list also.
Veterans Day, but less Veterans Day, more Memorial Day and 4th of July.
I will say it does that to me, like at St. Joe, where we have 3 services in different kind of generational brackets, more or less. That seems to be a lot more common in the traditional service than it does like we'll pass Memorial Day without any mention or maybe even the 4th of July in some form without any distinct mention in the contemporary services.
Yeah.
Whereas at the traditional service, there's like more of a call to like incorporate something like that.
Yeah. And I'm much more open, I guess, to Memorial Day than to 4th of July. Just for many reasons, but
it's hard to imagine Jesus singing in the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air.
Right. I don't even really I don't like seeing American flags in churches, on church grounds. I don't mind it like as a part of, say, like this is either where we do ministry or just, some have like all the flags.
So not like the altar not draped.
Yeah, okay. No, don't like that. No. But yeah, so that's the first. I mean, my mind automatically goes right there, where it's like, why? When I was growing up, at the 4th of July, we literally sang patriotic hymns. In church on those holidays, and I'm like, what are we worshiping here for? It's like, don't like it.
Yeah, my direction, like in our services that feel pulled in that direction more, is something like "God Bless America."
And that's
if
I'm gonna sing patriotic songs, it's gonna be God Bless America.
It's more of a prayer. We're asking for a blessing or something like that, which feels more appropriate than the national anthem.
Sure.
It's like victory over our slain enemies.
Yes, right. Yes,
something like that.
Something like that. Tyler, what do you think?
I can't really think of. I don't know. In more of a contemporary context, I don't think it's really a big thing. Or maybe it's mentioned, oh, it's 4th of July, or oh, it's Mother's Day, it's Father's Day. It's kind of a blend.
Not really, Father's Day is another one I didn't think about.
Not really a center, piece of the service or of the worship or anything. So I don't really see it. It's not within my. And
I feel like that's kind of where we've parked Mother's Day and Father's Day in all our contexts here. There's not a lot of sentimentalizing of that. And when it comes to either of those days, there's also an acknowledgement and elevation of mentors, coaches, teachers, leaders who are fitting that mold of either female or male leadership, depending on Mother's Day, Father's Day, whatever. So,
I also think there's a lot more recognition about how those days can be hard for people.
Yes. Yeah.
Whereas that didn't used to be something that was mentioned at all.
It's like, if you don't like it, shut up and let everybody else celebrate. Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah. And now it's like, hey, this might be difficult for
so we give out a flower to every woman, and I realize there may be somebody who says, well, let's think about how a non-binary person fits into this. So we've got growing edges, but
let's start with the low-hanging fruit.
We're gonna but we give out a flower to every woman, not just to mothers. We give out candy to every guy, not just to the fathers, as a way of acknowledging leadership, right? And that's really what we're trying to get at, and mentors, role models, coaches, etc. But I just remember growing up, and my church would give out a red rose or a white rose, and if your mother, we'd give them to I think at one point we did it to acknowledge our mothers, like everybody got a rose because everybody has a mother. That's a good way to do it. But then I remember we shifted and started to give out something to the mothers. Mm-hmm. And one day I had that job. It was in high school, and this lady came in, and I went to, and she goes, "Oh, I'm not a mother." She says, "My baby was stillborn." And so she, like, her own, and this lady was like 80, 85. Yeah. And so her own internal narrative is, I don't deserve that. And it's like, what? That is not why we're here. You're not here for that. You have carried that child with you to this day, because that's the thing that came to you. So anyway, I think those are other days that are worth thinking about.
I do feel like it's, like, to your point, I feel less like than when I was growing up. Mm-hmm. Like, when I think about these things, mostly it's like, this is what it was like. It was the Sunday was complete. It was Mother's Day Sunday. It was Father's Day Sunday. It was like,
but I think that's, right. That. Let's read a poem about moms.
Right.
Let's sing a song about moms.
Was about
Here comes somebody with a track who's going to sing a song about their mom. Like that kind
of. And, like, can women get a choice if we want something to eat or a flower? Yeah. I want candy.
Because I want candy.
Yeah.
I'll take a flower.
I'd be fine also.
Seth would actually prefer the flower.
Yeah. See, there you go. Breaking
but you know what? In
like
this congregation, nobody's ever going to get a choice, because for Father's Day, the people on staff, who are ironically almost all women except for like Luke and Austin and I, they enjoy the fact that there are always leftover candy bars that sit in the office for the next 4 weeks.
So they're getting it either way.
They can graze on.
Graze on.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the word for it. They just, nibbling away.
The next. What other animals graze?
I don't know. Moving on.
Dainty antelope.
Dainty antelope.
Okay.
Graze.
Capybaras probably graze.
They probably
They
do.
are often permitted during Lent in some Catholic traditions, particularly in South America, because historically they were classified as fish due to semi-aquatic nature and taste.
Okay, Christy.
So platypus is probably also...
There's a picture of one here that looks nothing like a fish, just for what it's worth.
I just think next Lent...
It's like a fat, hairy fish.
Next Lent, we are going to do a capybara fry on some Friday.
That would be so funny.
I feel like that's one of those where it's like, we're announcing the capybara fry.
I will stand
and wait for it.
With a sign.
Glenn, was this a good idea?
Be like, why is PETA here?
Capybaras are friends, not food. Unless you're in South America, and that should
a bunch of children with their stuffed capybaras standing out there
crying.
Yeah. Why is he doing this? The logo makes national.
Live butchering it in the parking lot. Okay, sorry. I took it to a dark place.
I'm just glad that you're helping.
Just put a tarp
I'm just
down.
glad that you're helping me speed the call from whatever ecclesial authority is about to call. So
you're helping with that. This was a tricky one, Luke. This was tricky because it's a good question.
It's good.
But I don't know that exactly.
Well, it's a real hazy issue.
Yeah. Nice. I like it.
It's a topic we can broach another time. Anyway,
we can pass around.
We need to keep going.
Yeah, I think this conversation's pretty toasted at this point. So, anyhow,
let's roll it up.
Yep, roll it up
and smoke it.
Moving on.
Smoking through this spot.
Moving on to the other part.
It's really blazing in here.
It is really hot in this room.
Really hot. All right, what do we?
So tonight, we're thinking about, kind of to wrap up our first season. Tonight wraps up our first season.
That's right.
That's
Happy
a milestone.
First season wrap up. We should have planned something afterwards.
Yeah,
some kind of cast party.
Light up a candle or something. I don't know.
Or something.
Anyway,
we always went to Steak and Shake for cast parties in theater.
Yeah, Steak and Shake.
Steak and Shake.
Mm-hmm. That almost sounds cool. No, I'm just kidding.
20 years ago.
That was a theater joke. No, I'm just kidding.
Rude.
Pedal back. Is it hotter all of a sudden?
I was in the chorus line. I was in the chorus line, so I'm just jealous.
Yes. You were in what now?
I was in the chorus line.
Chorus line.
Yeah.
Okay. Like jazz choir, show choir kind of thing?
For the musical.
Which musical?
in the
Which
musical chorus.
Like the musical chorus line, or in the chorus
No.
line
In
for
the
a
chorus line
musical?
for a musical, I think it was Oklahoma.
You don't remember if you were in Oklahoma?
I don't remember. I know I had to learn how to box step.
That feels like one of these
and
things. Yeah.
And
Please get up and
do
demonstrate.
Everything's up to
And do
date
some
in Kansas City. One of those.
I like
I don't
Kansas
remember
City.
any of it. I just remember my mom made me do it to make friends, and it didn't work.
It didn't work. That's a good segue. Tyler did not make friends.
I was
That is a great.
horribly-
Thank you for mentioning that, and
Tee it
thank you, Christy, for drawing our attention to it.
Okay.
Has
so
friend making
welcome.
been hard? That's the question I have, and I think I direct it particularly towards our millennial generation cohort. Is friend making hard? Has loneliness been a part of our adult experience, or even, for that matter, our experiences before adulthood, and in what forms or fashions? So I just want to dive in there. You all,
a
I mean, I
heavy
don't know,
one.
because you don't always check your email.
Yeah.
Always is a stretch. You don't check your email?
I don't.
So I don't know if you were prepared. I know
Yeah.
Christy had seen it and was like, ouch, this feels like a difficult one to tackle a little bit. But let's just start on loneliness. Yeah, your mom wanted you to make friends, so she thought,
Yeah.
I know what will help him make friends and not get beat up. I'll have him be a part of the musical Oklahoma.
As a freshman in a
Yeah.
new high school that he's never been to
At
before.
Snyder High
This will be
School.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll be one of the kids
One of those.
dressed
guys.
like a cowboy walking down the hall.
Just, you know.
Did you dress like
I-
Anne walked down the hall?
Did you box step down Snyder
Yes.
down Snyder hallways?
With your big
Did you
belt
mosey?
buckle?
Maybe it was Into the Woods. Is that a musical?
That would have been
Yeah,
after your
that's
high
later.
school.
I was gonna
I
say, way
think.
after your
It's
time.
newish.
Really?
Yeah, you can't remember if it was Into the Woods or Oklahoma.
I can't remember
Those are
what it was.
like,
Like one
What?
has a witch and one has curly.
So here's the thing. It was I know
Curling
that I
the
went
sport?
to a couple.
Curly, the cowboy.
Oh.
I went to a couple and watched it, but I don't remember which one I was in. And I have a terrible memory. I don't remember. I don't remember what it was.
yeah.
So Into the Woods came out in 1986.
Oh,
so it is
so it
Could have
possible.
been.
Yeah.
Could have been. We
I
gave
think
you a
we
hard time.
It
did.
came out
I
in
think we
2014.
did Into the
Born then.
Woods. I think that was it. I'll have to bust out the
The yearbook.
yearbook and see what it was.
It's stunning to me that you can't remember. Like,
Dude, you remember everything.
well,
It's crazy. I don't remember.
some
I
things
don't know
I'd like
how
to
you do
forget,
it.
probably. But
Speaking of
That's fair.
loneliness,
How
there are
would you
some
like me
things
to
I'd
give
like
you
to forget.
any other songs from Into the Woods or Oklahoma? Anyhow,
Yeah.
I was in the Sound of Music as a freshman.
Sound of Music.
I was a nun, and I tripped on my habit. Like curtain call, we had to run backwards real quick,
really?
and then I tried to get up.
You tried to like
on it
ninja
again.
roll and just like couldn't play
There's a
it off.
video.
Like,
There's a
oh,
video.
nice.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah.
Except it's someone I don't speak to anymore that has it. So
I wish I had done that. I'm jealous of your
thespianism.
your thespianism and your theatrical. Tyler, I had no idea you were such a big
Make fun of me.
thespian.
I'm a huge thespian.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a bigger thespian.
For me,
I love
actually.
capybaras.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is all going to be on your profile, like
Oh
some
my
social
God.
media.
Hairy rodents.
Yeah.
And it's
Loneliness.
back to loneliness.
Why am I sweating again? This room is 10,000 degrees.
I'm sorry. I can't help it.
Real quick, Glenn,
yeah.
to make you feel more jealous and more lonely, I was in Phantom of the Opera.
Wait.
I was in Phantom of the Opera in South Pacific.
South Pacific.
Whoa,
Austin, did you in fact wash that man right out of your hair? No.
I was in the pit orchestra.
I was in the-
Okay.
that doesn't count.
What'd
No,
you play?
Pit orchestra.
That's not an instrument.
Oh, cello. Sorry.
Yeah.
cello.
I played the pit
What? And it was South
orchestra.
Pacific, and what was the other one?
Phantom of the Opera.
Phantom of the Opera.
Phantom of the Opera.
Your school had a pit orchestra?
Yeah, Northrop had one too. Ashley was in the pit.
Oh my gosh.
I think they still
all
do.
4 years. Yeah,
I think they still do.
Yeah,
Holy
wonderful.
cow.
they did some really good shows.
Okay.
Okay, loneliness.
Loneliness. Luke, what musicals were you in?
I was not in any musicals. My son is in one next weekend, though. He's playing in the pit at Homestead. So,
What's the musical?
um,
It could be.
I haven't seen it yet, so this should be.
Yeah. This
I
is
want
great.
to say
This is
anything goes.
Blaze and
Anything
Praise.
goes.
Is that the
Yeah.
new? That's the new.
Dun, 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 dun. That's a Cole Porter.
I was in the backup band for the show
He was
choir
from
one
Peru,
year.
Indiana.
But not
He
for a
was,
musical.
yes. Cole Porter from Peru, Indiana.
Fun facts.
Sorry,
no one
Luke,
asked
I was in the
for.
backup band for the show choir one season.
Oh.
But not for musical for their competition season.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
still pretty cool.
That's when I started
cool.
dating my wife. So you know.
Oh,
There you go.
Yeah.
Do it for the
Worked out well.
chicks.
Do it for the chicks. That's why people do the backup band of
Totally.
show choir.
Somehow that did bring us back to loneliness.
Speaking of loneliness.
Fun circling. Everything is loneliness.
So we're working real hard to avoid any sort of honesty
Isn't that
about
funny?
this.
Yeah.
I guess I'll
None
go
of us.
first.
Brene Brown would say, "Be vulnerable in this moment." Okay.
No thanks.
We support you being
This
vulnerable.
is why we have problems with
Do it.
loneliness, folks. This
Yeah,
is
that's a good
why,
point.
right? So, I don't know that I would necessarily reflect on my high school experiences being lonely because I went to a pretty small school where we kind of all knew each other, and so you could at least kind of delude yourself into thinking like more or less everybody's my friend because if there was a
That was not mine.
did you went to Oak Hill?
I don't care.
Yeah, which is a smaller
Tiny.
school. Yeah. But like if there were things,
But see,
parties,
I'm
events,
weird,
or whatever.
and you're not weird.
Well, I'm pretty weird. Especially in high school, I
You
was pretty
passed,
weird.
though.
I
You
haven't
passed
changed.
as
Listen,
normal.
I haven't changed at all. This is what I was like in high
If we
school.
didn't have
So he was a
this, I wouldn't
70-year-old
know.
I was
man in
no,
high
it's
school.
totally legit. Like I
So
actually,
did you guys hear that latest episode NPR?
I didn't. Yes,
Crazy.
I like volunteered in
What a
political
banger.
campaigns. I did not wear jeans to school. Like I wore like
I didn't either. I
khakis.
wore sweatpants.
I was okay. I wouldn't have wore sweatpants
I got
to
made
school.
fun of.
Yeah, I would.
That's all they wear now, though.
I know.
You ever see kids walk to school?
above my
You're like,
face,
you
above my
hobos.
head-
That's what I
head
yell
of
at
my
them
time.
when I
Oh,
drive
wait,
by.
hobos.
Hobos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Dear God. Okay, so.
I just wanted to be clear that it was
But
clear.
yeah, you were like class president, he said. No, you weren't. You were
I was
FFA president.
I was and student council president.
But
also.
then, okay.
my point is,
My point is, let's not get hung up on the details.
let's not get hung up on the many achievements and excellence that I demonstrated even in school, while I was also a 70-year-old man.
I would throw my sock at you.
I
with no free
think,
feet.
though, once out of school and once married, it was a lot harder to cultivate friendships. And I think one reason, if I were to be like, well, why is that, and not try to reflect on myself, would be like a cultural reason, which is like our generation really fragmented in its habits and in what it did from high school on. So like we got married pretty young. We were engaged when I was still 19, and we got married when I was 20.
How is that legal?
Well, there are people who got married younger.
I know.
Which, by the way, I just have to say, great moment last week when my daughter said to Tyler in his presence, like, my teacher said anybody who gets married when they're 18 is gonna get divorced. And she was like, oh, except for you.
Except for didn't mean you.
Actually,
Yeah.
that's not what the data shows. I mean,
Yeah, which is what you said,
Which is what I
pointed out to
said,
me,
that
Will.
people who don't cohabitate and are with single partners when they get married, even young, tend to stay together longer.
Yeah.
When you control for those other factors, it does make a difference.
So, yeah, great. So regardless of that,
It was hard.
Yeah, well, I just think our generation fragmented, right? And so even though we were on a college campus where there were other young married couples,
I was there. Not
Yeah.
married though.
Yeah, right. But like we transferred in, so we hadn't been
Transferring is hard.
Yeah, and we hadn't lived on the campus as a part of the life, and so then we were away from our friends we had made when we were in our freshman year. And then after that, like I was a pastor.
Hard for
By
pastors to
23,
make friends.
It's a very lonely. You're surrounded by
really
people,
is.
but you're not surrounded by a lot of people you can be friends with. And so it is a very kind of lonely gig, and I don't think either of us really cultivated friendships for like a good 18 years, maybe.
I believe it.
Like
Wow.
and part of it's you're dealing with kids, part of it is some of the other clergy couples we did cultivate friendships with. It takes a lot. It just doesn't work out. So and it took a lot of work. So anyhow, like I actually think that I'm pretty sympathetic to people saying our generational moment is is a pretty lonely one. For me, I think part of that was like so many of the people in our, like not everybody got married, had kids right away, like other generations had done, or not everybody was single until they were in their late 20s or whatever whatever the dynamic was. I think that's a great thing in some regards because people get to find their own way in a more, but at the same time, it like shrinks your pool of who's available. I just remember when we didn't have kids and then we got together, like when you're first starting out, and it was awkward at times. I don't think it is now, but it was when you're like first starting out and like you've got this baby and you're like, all you think about and talk about's the baby. And then Amy and I would be there and be like, so,
like, you guys want to go drink after this? No, I'm just kidding.
that was Amy.
No,
he's
12.
Yeah. Anyway,
I can't even get in the bar.
Stage, I'm talking about life stage. Those life stage things just made it tricky. So
no, I completely like resonate with that. Like when we got married young, but there were all like the other young married couples. I think a lot of them had kids young. We didn't have kids, and it made it really hard to like. We were all sort of similar, but all very different. And like we were doing the college thing, but everybody else was working full time. And even that was just different. And it's just, I think the traditional path is no longer there, right? Like the world is your oyster. You can go to school. You can, you can get married. You can have kids. You cannot have kids. All these different pathways. But like you said, it makes it harder to find a group that you can feel like understand you and you understand them and connect with.
Yeah. What do you think, Christy?
I have a lot of thoughts. Thoughts I want to get into. I would say I had a pretty lonely childhood, generally. So, like I said, I've always been just a little different, a little weird. And even when I did, like, my dad got remarried and then my mom got remarried, and so I inherited siblings. I'm quirky. I'm not quite like that. Love, so much love there. But like then we're like, yeah, Christy's our weird one.
Well, what I hear is not like if we were to say that in a way that wasn't negative self-talk.
But no, I know that's literally what they say. I'm not trying to say it, and they don't mean it negatively either. Okay. They really don't. They are very affectionate.
It does sound like there's a sense in which even while they might be family, that they weren't exactly your people in the same way.
Yeah. And like, if any of my siblings ever happen to hear this, I love you very much.
No, I think what you said is I don't think anybody should feel threatened by that and say like, no, I love you. I enjoy having my life, you being in my life and everything else. But yet I don't know that the kind of deep companionship of like, I've found people with whom
which I think people have that with their biological siblings too all the time. Like,
right,
it's kind
absolutely.
of a crapshoot. Some siblings are real tight and some never speak to each other.
Some need a restraining order.
Literally though.
Yeah.
But mine are pretty great. And I got them like, so I was 8 and then 6 and 4 when they moved in. And then my mom got remarried when I was 15.
So you were 8?
I was 8.
You were 8,
I was 8,
6, 4. So you guys were
and
pretty
then they were
close
6 and 4. Yeah. And so I'd say I'm closer to those two because they were younger. And then when I was 15, my mom got remarried. It was 3 older daughters that had grown up together. So just a different kind of situation.
Yeah.
But like in school, I'm a very friendly person. But I always wanted to fit in really, really badly. And I'm extroverted to a fault. I'm actually less extroverted now than I used to be. I used to say painfully extroverted. I hated being alone. I hated not doing something. But like, so I tried too hard, like when I was puppies. It's like, hi, let's be friends.
We're going to be best friends forever.
Yeah, but like a lot of my memories of playground are like sitting on the swings by myself or like whatever. So, and I did have friends, but I tend to have really introverted friends just by nature. Almost all of my friends are introverts. And so like I wanted to make, they had their space, whatever. And I love to read, so that helped a lot. Like that's mostly what I did all of my childhood.
So there were some features baked into, no pun, callback to earlier, but that were baked into your childhood experience that kind of gave you a sense of loneliness.
Yeah, for sure. So
how did that kind of play out then as you move into adult years?
Yeah.
And are there ways in which you think kind of the cultural moment made it steepened it? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so moving, I'm going to try to move kind of quick. Through junior high is when it was my sweatpants phase, when people would literally call me sweatpants girl. And like, I'm just not going to get into junior
They're sorry
high
now because their kids
now they're wearing sweatpants.
are all wearing sweatpants and very tiny shirts.
Oh my
anyway.
gosh. Anyway, yes.
What is that?
And then like
it's a
in my
thing.
senior year of high school, we had a good group of, and it was actually like theater folks and like more higher academic classes. And we'd been friends for a long time, but we really started hanging out together. And so that was the first time it felt like, oh, hey, I have like a group that these are my people, and we would hang out. We'd go to Tree of Life.
Yeah.
Call back for Glenn there. And
There's a coffee place, a Christian bookstore and coffee
bookstore and
shop.
coffee, but we got steamers because we did not like coffee. So it was just basically fancy hot chocolate. Anyway, so I think going into my adult life, I have a lot of empathy for lonely
Christy,
people.
we must have crossed paths
So
at
many
that.
times.
Well, there must
So
have been,
many
because that's a
times.
place that
You
Amy
were
and I would
surrounded
go.
by your pupils from,
That was in high school.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, so I would say that the background of that is that it gave me a lot of empathy for people that felt lonely and out of place. And so going into adulthood, when I transferred colleges, because I was a commuter my last semester at Indiana Wesleyan, and that is lonely as heck, being a commuter. You've got no place to really be.
That particular campus is very on campus in the residence stores where the life happens.
Very much so. So that was another really lonely season. But then I went to Johnson, and I was on campus again with a bunch of people, and finally felt like, hey, I understand these folks. Mostly, I found a really good group. And then I found a best friend who just did not care what anyone thought about her. She's weird as heck, and I adore her. And I think that really unlocked something in me to where it's like, okay, I'm weird. I'm not upset about it anymore. I can be me.
Yeah.
And what I found is that draws other people who feel weird.
Yeah.
And they feel like they don't fit in and whatever. And so it's never been this is my life goal, but something that's just kind of ended up being a goal is just I want to be a place, as a person, I want to be a place where anybody who feels out of place, who feels whatever, can come hang out. So I feel like my adult life has not been lonely at all. It's been
because you had the wherewithal somehow to acknowledge kind of your own loneliness, and yet through that, let that be a doorway by which you somehow with another friend found permission to be you.
Yeah.
And to be a place of a person who is a place
Just
of
a place of
welcome and
welcome.
connection for other people
Exactly.
who maybe feel that way. I think that's
So,
beautiful.
yeah,
Let me
thank you.
let me ask this of all of us, all of our adulthood coincides with the advent of social media.
It's true.
How has that played into loneliness or lack thereof? Because I actually hear you saying that adulthood hasn't been a terribly lonely experience.
No, it's been.
Which I think is different a little
Yeah.
bit from what at least I would express adulthood
Yeah.
to be.
I will say real quick that I do also understand what you mean by the different places of life, because I didn't get married until my late 20s, and we don't have children. And so there was, especially early 30s, some jostling of where my friends were starting to have kids and where do we fit and all that. And as someone who doesn't have kids in a stage of life where people usually do, let me just say to my friends with kids, I don't know, where's the camera? Friends with kids, invite your childless friends to your children's place. Invite them to soccer games. Invite them. I think the thought is no one's going to want to come to a kid's soccer
Gotcha.
game. You know,
Yeah.
that's boring. But that's where community happens.
Well, that is how the parents feel.
That's.
I don't even want to be here, and those
the
are my
thing is,
kids.
It's not I want to go to a kid's soccer game.
No.
But who do you make friends with? You make friends with the
Right.
other kids that your kids play soccer with. You make and we want to support your children. It's not that we just kids. I mean, there are people that are kids.
And some kids.
And some kids.
Trust me.
I want to think a little bit about the cultural trends that we find ourselves in the midst of. And so I think would you say I feel like there were times, and I'm not on social media at all at this point, but I feel like when I was, there were times that it's such an illusion of friendship and whatever.
Yes.
And yet,
Or like that one-sided.
Yeah, but for whatever your curated self is.
Sure.
But there's not the actual kind of friendship where, like, when I think of the people who are genuinely my friends now and who I would consider that, at least a chunk of them know some things about me I would definitely not want said on this podcast.
Right.
Or even here, and so there's like a fuller knowing of someone. There's like an awareness of the shame they carry for things, whatever, And so, but that's not really like. I mean, there have always been people who like overshare on Facebook, which is kind of like a different thing.
That's a whole different bag.
But even
bag
that
of
is
worms. That's my
even
new
that
rule.
is that like kind of tendency you were describing, which is like I'm trying too hard.
I'm trying to curate
to
this
find
image.
someone who will acknowledge my pain or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I think we're still early enough that we remember not having it, so we view it as like an add-on or like a tool or something, social media.
Yeah,
Whereas I think younger generation don't view it like they view it as one thing
And as a communication tool.
tool and as a part of. And I think we realize that maybe I can have a social life without this as totally
One
separate.
of the first times I ever talked directly one-on-one with my wife was she AOL instant messengered me.
Nice aim.
Yeah, it was just like a hey.
I love that.
Hey.
It's
Yeah.
funny because in my head I wouldn't consider that social media. I would just consider that like chat. But
Chat. Hey,
Hey,
chat.
chat.
But you had a little
original
But-
You
chat.
had your away screen.
you did. Did she see your MySpace? Was she in your top?
I
8
did not
friends?
have a MySpace ever, so that came along just a little bit
Glenn.
after. But we did do
That's too
Facebook
bad.
because like
You could
Facebook
only
started
have
at
college. You had to
Oh,
have
right,
college.
yeah, and
Yeah.
Purdue was like one of the next tier
because
of
it started with
Yeah.
like bigger
It
schools.
started with
Right.
Ivy Leagues, and then it
Uh-huh.
went to the bigger schools.
Yeah.
And so
and
yeah,
then it made its way to Indiana Wesleyan.
yeah.
There you go.
I would say for me, social media has gone kind of like up and down in like social, I don't know, tools, I want to say, or like health, like mental health. I've definitely had times where I've found myself just like scrolling to numb or whatever. But I think right now I'm in a much healthier spot where I do have a couple friends, like, and I'll scroll, but I look at my stuff that is curated for me, but to specifically find things that I think my friends will think is fun or funny and send it to them. And it's actually, they've got a name for it now. It's called pebbling. It's like what penguins do is they'll take a little pebble as a gift. And so like I'm gifting them these. And so I'm thinking about them when I'm doing it. And like I do have some international friends that we
It's just
do
like a
talk.
poker alike on the original Facebook.
Kind of, except
Yeah.
it's funner because you actually get to look at a meme or a reel or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like here, this, I thought this would make you laugh.
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Well, like people do this when they snap each other, right?
Yeah,
Like
I don't
like,
have Snap, but I think it's the same.
I was having a conversation today where someone texted me something and someone else said, "Oh yeah, that person snapped that to me," and I was like, "What?"
Yeah, right.
Anyway.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, my stepmom uses Snap a lot. Are we on time? Because I definitely
we're
want to get
okay,
to the. I
yeah.
want to get to the church thing.
Yeah. So those cultural pieces are there. I think fragmenting. I think of kind of like generational expectations. I think social media, its ability for us to curate and also isolate ourselves.
Yeah, there's also, you might have missed the trend. There was this big trend about like realism social media where it's like, this is my real house.
Yeah.
This is actually what it looks
Yeah,
like.
I had
Like,
checked
there was
out
a big,
by then.
There was a big trend of that for a while.
Well, and there's
too.
the Be Real.
Right.
app.
Be Real. I guess is
Yeah.
the platform that maybe
Supposedly tries to do that.
supposedly.
Like so I'm dubious of all of that because like being I don't want to make this grander than it sounds, but being someone who has a professional face,
Sure.
like
You have to still curate.
I'm very aware of how we all curate ourselves to some degree, and some people have the privilege of not having to do that as much. And it's always better the less we have to do that, probably for us psychologically. But the one other piece I just wonder about, like as we get on the way to like where the church fits into this, is how fragmented all of our interests have become. So again, like, and maybe I'm stereotyping, but I think of somebody of like my parents' generation, and it'd be like, let's all watch baseball or basketball or something like that. And now you come to like our conversations, and it's like, well, can we watch a mukbang? Which for anybody who didn't catch that episode is somebody who's like eating
Check
furiously,
or
like
Let's watch
what
a
about
Pokemon playthrough?
Yeah, a Pokemon playthrough, or
we all have our own little worlds that we live in that there's there's no awareness of for people that you meet face to face. And it's like there was a day in time where like, all right, we had 30 channels, and it's like, chances are you're watching the premiere.
30 on the farm. We had like 4, like, and that's if you monkeyed with the ears in the right way.
1960. I'm sorry, I don't know.
13 and 21.
If we had cable before it got shut off, and we could re-up under a new name, like
an alias.
You had to go to 3
You're like 30
to get your
channels,
video
but
games.
chances are you were watching. We were, culturally, we were all watching the same
Seinfeld.
shows, right? And then the water cooler, we could talk about the similar things. Well, now it's like, I don't know. What's
Do you watch what? I don't know.
It's like that's not even a conversation that's happening.
Christy, favorite show?
Favorite show ever? Parks and Rec.
No. I mean like now.
Like now.
What are you watching now as a show?
I don't want to say.
Oh, jeez. Oh, dang.
It is.
I love that you did, Sam. We all went to this dark place. Like, oh, my God.
Extremely obscene. That's all.
Seth and I are watching Leverage Redemption, okay?
See, I have no idea what
I don't
that
even
is.
know
That's
what
just
that
making the
is.
point.
But my Fort Wayne bestie and I have a guilty pleasure. A farmer wants a wife.
Farmer Wants a Wife.
Is that like NBC?
Is that a
on
musical?
Like
Seven Brides for Seven Brothers? No?
Legacy.
show.
It's like
It's
a
a dating
legacy
show.
I don't
media.
usually do the dating shows,
That's
but it's
so
so
funny.
ridiculous.
Okay,
Does he
Farmer
get
Wants
out
a Wife.
pitchforks instead of roses?
No, there's
You get a pitchfork.
There's 4 different farmers. I started watching because it was in
okay.
Australia. Anyway.
All right.
Yep.
Okay. Favorite show?
I haven't watched it, but season 2 of Andor's came out yesterday.
Oh, Seth really likes Andor.
I'm definitely gonna watch that. It's a Star
So we
Wars
got the
thing. It's on
Mandalorian
Disney
going
Plus.
I've
on.
never seen a Star Wars.
That's pretty.
You've never seen a Star Wars.
He does that
Yeah.
just to make people mad.
Yeah, I do. But it's true also.
Okay.
What are you watching?
Yeah,
What
I mean-
Norwegian horror show?
Yeah. No.
Which we still can't get, by the way.
No,
Anyway.
that was a film, not a show.
sure.
But
Okay.
Not a movie. A film.
so I really
It's
only
cinema.
I almost watch almost no TV. So the only TV I watch is like with
the
Amy.
worst answer
And what
you
does
could
Amy
have said.
watch?
It's like HG, like that kind of stuff, or
When
Home and
TV
Garden.
was still TV.
Yeah. So anyway, like this kind of makes the point.
Yeah, we
Like-
all
Yeah,
live
we
in
don't
our own
watch-
little worlds,
There's no
and there's very
singular
little crossover.
thing
yeah.
that's even big enough that we're all like really plugged into it. And
Yep.
so I just think that impacts it too, because then you go off and you're finding your cohort of people who are
They tend
maybe
to be online.
Yeah, or you have to learn how to live in a way where it's like, well, I don't know what that is, but tell me about it, and I'm going to have to try and
the
break out of
curiosity.
my own fog that's unrelated to any earlier conversation and
Yeah.
hear
You want to
about
come
it.
to our D&D game?
We were just talking about this.
We did.
Do you play D&D?
I don't, but I was saying I feel like I would
I think
like
you could
to
get into it. Yeah.
but I don't
You
feel
would
like.
love
But I don't feel
Peter.
like. I don't know. I feel like that's a hard.
Austin,
Maybe that's a.
D&D.
She's doing like a roll call.
I need to know.
Like you.
In case I want to do a campaign.
Austin would be your guy. But Tyler,
yeah.
we were talking about this, and he was
You would
saying
be a great-
interested
But
in-
again,
D&D
I
player.
feel like talking in community, like it's hard to make friends as an adult.
No,
like it's
it's
hard to like
Actually, it can't
jump
be.
into like I don't know. I don't look like a guy who would play D&D. So
Do I
like,
look like a girl that would play D&D?
I mean, Austin's a guy who plays D&D, and he looks like a pretty, normal guy back there. So
Seth plays
but he looks
D&D.
cool. Like he's got slick back hair.
Yeah.
He looks cool. I don't know.
I don't know what you're suggesting about people
They do
who
one shots at round table games.
do shots?
They do one shots, which means just like one time you're not doing a whole campaign, you're not committing to anything.
taking
You're just
shots?
coming and taking shots, playing a game, playing one
No shots.
no shots.
Oh.
Sorry.
They shouldn't call it
You
that.
could have espresso shots. There's a coffee house
okay.
there too.
Okay.
Anyway,
So anyway,
say,
again,
you
I
have
just
my
want to
friends.
highlight that as one other aspect, I think, of like particularly millennial loneliness. So then the question becomes like a lot of times, and I think
See,
it's
not if you're a geek. Because there is that
but
that
Christy,
factioning.
that doesn't actually vitiate my point, because like there are communities out there for people to connect in, but they're not communities that we in this room are like all of us like, oh yeah, I saw the latest. Did you see the final MASH or
Yeah,
whatever?
right.
It's not.
That was a good one.
It's that's my point though, right? Like it's not.
It's not ubiquitous within culture.
Yeah. So
There isn't a universal
yeah.
experience that we all say.
So then like
experience this thing. Yeah. That makes sense.
In this moment of cultural loneliness, which I think there's verification for, and I think we may or may not have quoted it in the first episode, but we can link it in show notes to this one maybe. If we do show notes, Austin? I don't know.
Do we do maybe?
Anyway,
look for it possibly.
I've heard people say that on podcasts.
You're like, it sounds
Yeah.
really cool. Click the
Chat,
link below.
chat,
I
can
don't
we do
know.
show
Is that a
notes?
thing?
Chat.
Anyway,
Put the show notes
50% off
on.
coupon code.
so
To Mamma Mia.
it's not
There's not
uncommon
one.
when you look at like pitches churches make advertising themselves or whatever, that what they're pitching is some version of you're not going to be lonely here. The perfect church for people who aren't.
Yeah.
That kind
Where
of
it's
thing.
okay to not be okay.
Yeah, it's okay to not be
Yeah.
okay, or like a lot of churches. If you surf church websites, which is this is
Something
what I
you do.
That's what he does
Amy's
instead of
watching
watching
a show.
I
TV.
I'm
actually-
scrolling church websites.
I do that too.
She's like,
But
all these episodes are the
There's
same.
a ton
And
that
you're
are like the description of that church
Yeah.
is something like home,
oh,
which seems a little bit. Anyway, that's for another time.
sweatpants.
Well, I
Where'd it
don't
go?
think.
Oh, not
I
like
don't-
that.
I just think like
Oh, okay.
home has its own complications.
You're
but
like, I don't wanna go
obviously-
there.
Obviously, it has. I'm not referring just to like my home or my
Yeah.
home of origin, but I'm also like, yeah, home has complications. So
Yeah.
like, it's interesting that we're offering a church's home.
Yeah.
I think what we're really getting at is a place where you fit in, where you belong. Like
Yeah.
Cheers, to go back to a cultural reference of
Everybody
another.
knows your
yeah, right. That kind of thing.
name.
Churches that sell themselves that
Yeah.
way. And yet I got a couple wonderments. And one is can church really make that promise that we will be that kind of place? And my second question is, should church be in the business of making that promise? Or is church about something prior to that, and that's a side effect? So first of all, should churches
Say
make
more
that?
about that. Prior to that would be a side effect. What does that mean?
Well, like, is our primary job really to be community, or and to help people not feel lonely? Or is our primary job about something else? Like, for instance, the story of the gospel that we're sharing together and we're talking about and telling, that the side effect of is community.
Oh,
rather
okay.
than saying,
So it's not the primary objective, but like, hey, a lot of times this happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's my question I posed to you. What's the Greek word for church? What do they use in the New Testament?
It would be ecclesia for
What's it
the called
mean?
out ones. Yeah.
The gathering, the called out ones. So I think that it is a primary purpose.
Yeah, I don't
know
disagree.
that I would say that it's the primary purpose, but I would say it's a primary purpose.
I guess my question, like, really is focused on the first one: is should we be promising that you won't be lonely at
I don't
church?
think we can make that promise.
unless you're showing up because you are called out for the sake of the story, the truth, the gospel, the grace, or something like that. Like, if you're fixed on that, I think you're gonna still struggle, but I think you're gonna be okay. But if you come to church expecting that the promise made that you won't be lonely will be kept, my own personal experience of that is
Not
that
true.
you will be disappointed. So
I think it's impossible to promise someone they're not going to be lonely. You can try your best, and it still might not happen.
wouldn't you agree though that churches kind of like fancy themselves as like in the business of anti-loneliness?
Yeah, I think there's an oversell of
Maybe.
like what the byproduct of following Christ will be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, and then I guess part of it ends up depending on how we articulate what the really primary. So, like, if it's me individually following Christ, that feels slightly
particularly
different than
biblical.
like to your point, Christy, the community that is lifting up these beliefs, right? So like we're probably, to whatever degree we're following Jesus individually, we're probably setting ourselves up for loneliness. If we're following Jesus together, you're going to end up lonely sometimes because the people around you, Jesus had this experience, right?
Sure.
They don't always come through. So, anyway, I feel like I personally have often felt like, oh, the church is an antidote to loneliness. And I feel like I'm at a point where I'm like, I don't think we should be talking about that in that way.
Yeah.
Or talking about the church as an antidote to that, because
Do you think the gospel is an antidote to that? If the church isn't?
I guess I'm just talking for Glenn here. Like,
Okay.
I'm not, this is not like a...
And that's a genuine question. I'm not trying to like
Yeah, no,
gotcha.
I don't think you are. And what I'm trying to name is I'm trying to not give an intellectual answer. I'm just trying to say my experience of that is that if I pursue the grace, the truth, the beauty that is found in what I believe the gospel to be, which is this message of God's incredible mercy for everybody who is disobedient, right? Which is all of us. Like that kind of incredible thing. If you're really fixed on that and wanting that to become real in your life and world, you are going to bump into people along the way who share that so deeply and share in the scars of battle, for lack of a better metaphor that's coming to mind, who share on the journey, that I don't think you will be really alone in that. Because I do think it's a mission that has a communal aspect to it, absolutely. But I do also think that there are seasons of incredible loneliness experienced, even if you've got other people going with you.
Yeah.
And none of that is new. Like Bunyan's Pilgrim Progress has that kind of stuff in it, where there is community and there are people walking with you, and that there are times where like you can't see them or know that they're there.
Yeah.
And so I think it's both, and I think it's somehow beautiful because it's loneliness and also community at the same time. I feel like I'm just increasingly dubious about claims that like church are a Cheers, or church is home or something like that. Like it is home to me, but it's not like, that doesn't mean it's like sentimental necessarily. It's more like, where else could I go? But that's not a bad thing. Peter said that, like, to Jesus.
Where else
where
can I
else
go?
can I go?
Who else would I
Yeah.
go to?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I wonder if some of that, like having community but still feeling lonely, is not just the like having people around you, but like feeling understood and known.
Yeah.
That's a different thing, right? And so sometimes, especially if you're going through like a big season of change, or like, I don't know, just a particular season, the dark night of the soul.
Yeah.
No matter how much you talk to people about it, sometimes you feel like they can't actually understand it. That's a lonely feeling.
I think the word that is in my mind as you're saying that is recognition. And like if you think of the gospel, like another way of understanding it would be God's recognition for us in Christ, right? God sees us, God accepts us, and through Christ, like God not only recognizes but elevates humanity into the life of God. That's beautiful. And then we can do that for each other. We can see, we can extend recognition, and right? Is this what you're saying? Is like, that's great. And there are people who, no matter their age or whatever, like you can turn to them and it's like, for a minute, they saw me. And like, I'll never forget it, that they saw me in that minute.
Yeah.
It's a really powerful thing.
It is. And to that point, when you said, I think you meant like no matter what age you were, but one of the things I think church is really missing right now is intergenerational. I feel like we've talking about that fragmentation. The church is so fragmented, like women's groups, men's groups, young married groups, children, like I love the Keystones, but I want to do the Keystone stuff. Like,
Well, they would not
like, we're
exclude you. I want you to know that. You might feel differently. No, they're great. We love them.
We love them. They're not all learning from another. So, like, whenever I would do small group, I'm not a good small group leader, just FYI. But when I would do them, I would do hiking groups. I would do walking groups. I would do just like things that had zero barrier. Like, if you just want to come, and like we would pray for each other at the end, but like there was no like teaching, there was no whatever, like, and people were just hungry for that. Like,
Yeah.
just to be. And so I think, and that comes on the legs of this like cultural movement, but I don't even just mean the last little bit. I mean, for a while where like community was how you survived. Before we had to.
Yeah.
And that's part of what made humanity so successful, is that we could work together. And now we're like that American rugged individualism, but not even just American.
No, just the materialism and the wealth of Western society
like,
means we don't need each other.
Yeah.
Right.
And we're meant
Yeah.
to need each other.
Somebody was saying about like, you know, why would I go to my neighbor and ask for a cup of sugar? Like when I should just Uber Eats it, or, you know, have it delivered to my house, right? Like through modernization, we're sort of slowly transitioning to that we don't need each other.
We're completely self-sufficient.
And now we have to go completely out of, I mean, there's a certain beauty in the vulnerability of going to your neighbor and being like, I need a cup of sugar.
Yeah.
I'm in need.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
I
like,
have some neighbors I can do that with, and I feel so much closer to the people in the neighborhood where I'm just like, if I need, I can go knock on their door. Like, I don't have to call or text beforehand.
But that is not the normal experience.
It's not.
I think the normal
this
experience
is different, and I like it.
Yeah, most people, you know, you drive in, click the button as you pull in, click the button as you
I missed
behind
my
you
neighbors
walk
this
in.
winter.
You know, maybe a wave as you're mowing the lawn.
Right.
And that's it. That's
And
where
that's
we're drawing the line.
So I think as we all started this this journey of Church Bites, I think we all had some sense of a need for conversation with each other.
Yeah.
For that relational piece. And I think we're finding some of that as we go through this, and as we have sometimes the camera turns off and then the conversation goes on, and it's not like it is here. And but all of that, what we're finding is that exploration of our need for one another. I think also, as we're trying to grapple with the things that we think God has brought into the world that have shaped a community, I think we're also finding that on the journey, the community on the way. And so I think it's been a powerful experience in first season, and I think I'll be interested to see what we talk about in seasons to come, or what folks who join us in conversation want to talk about as well. Thank you, guys. This has been a good conversation.
Has been.
Yeah.
That was a good 5.
Yeah.
You deserve it.
Killed it. Crushed it.
Yeah. Thank you all.
Thanks for listening to Church Bites.
Man, that was some great conversation in this episode. And hey, it's Austin here. We would love to continue that conversation as well. Down in the comments, all of us will be looking at the comments down there, answering back to you. And who knows, maybe in the future we'll do a comments episode. I think that would be fun. So yeah, like, share the video, comment down below. You can send us an email, at churchbites@stjoemin.com. That's churchbites@stjoemin.com. And we're going to be having some live events coming up here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. We would love for you to come out to those. We'll dive even deeper into these topics, and it's going to be a great time in a safe environment. Details on that will be down in the show description and the show notes. And we hope you have a great week. See ya.